expect for this week crypto market outlook? Should we see another leg down, or should we see a bottom or a reversal? As you can see that the stock market also at the all-time high. I think most likely it was coming to an end. We are already at the euphoria stage for the stock market, right? Okay, of course, we look at SpaceX, we look at the likes of OpenAI. They're about to launch their IPO as well, going public. So I think this add on the extra momentum or extra excitement towards the top. And there's a time where you need to be really, really careful and cautious, especially heading towards this peak of the stock market. I think this could be the end game. The final curtain is coming down. But nonetheless, if you focus on crypto right now, and BTC doesn't seem to follow according to the stock market. The stock market hit the all-time high, index hit all-time high, but BTC and the rest of the crypto market continue to tank, continue to remain stagnant, and continue to go downwards, right? So if we look here, the analysts predict that Bitcoin most likely to hit down all the way to 52,000. And we have the head and shoulder confirmation as well, HNS, right? So, okay, so we can see here, Bitcoin price is under renewed pressure, okay, as the crypto analyst warns in the market heading for a sharp correction all the way to 52K. All right, so this could also lead to a technical pattern, okay, often associated with potential trend reversal, downside momentum. Okay, so if the setup suggests that if the bearish pressure continues to build, leading crypto could be at risk of a significant near-term crash. Right? So already expected. Okay, so price creating a lower high. Okay, and then now most likely to continue this trend again towards the downside to create a new low. Okay, so yeah, 52K most likely could be the next destination rather than hitting high again. Okay, right, look at the head and shoulder pattern. Later on, you can also look into the technical side. So the head and shoulder pattern has been forming on the chart since 2024 and continued even after BTC recorded its all-time high, above 126K. So if you look at the head and shoulder here, okay, this is the head, this is the left, and this is the right shoulder. I think this is the weekly time frame, not second, weekly time frame. Okay, so you can see here, many traders had turned bullish once Bitcoin begins its bounce. It was first from 70K range. However, once its price moved towards the 2K, psychological resistance level, Bitcoin was rejected, confirming underlying weakness. Okay, all right. So yeah, went all the way up here to 2K, creating a lower high, and then what's happening now is already rejected. And I think most likely to revisit 72K first before hitting lower. Okay. So what else? Further noted that the combination of a broken support and strong resistance indicate that sellers are still largely in control. Okay, so bears are still in control. The sentiment is totally bearish. Retail is not here to buy your backs. Only institutions here are playing. So what does that tell you? Lack of conviction in the market. Okay, right? And then with the head and shoulder pattern, it is already playing out on the weekly time frame. So you know roughly well that is most likely to hit lower rather than hitting higher again. So 30K probably on the cards. Okay, so realistic short-term pullback would be 72, and then probably to retest again on this 60K level before we see a little more downwards momentum heading to Q3 and Q4. Okay, so that is the expectation here. Okay, moving on for this year. And we talk about ETH as well. So ETH, I think, has been very quiet down. Okay, not much of movement. It's been stagnant again. It's looking super bearish compared to other alts. Okay, so we can see the next rally could start with these two triggers. So what are the two triggers that we are looking at here? Okay, so Ethereum itself have already decreased about 9%. Okay, from your lows for what? 1,800, right? $1,800. Okay, or 1,900 at a level, right? So right now the only thing is it's failed to break past the 2.5, right? 2.5 to 6. So amid this weakening phase, technical analyst Arnie Martinez pointed at what he described as two triggers. Okay, so what are the two, right? You see here. What are the next two? Okay, all right. So the market experienced what he called a clean rejection at midpoint of the range, which coincided with the 200-week simple moving, which is also known as SME, at around $2,300. Okay. Now, because Ethereum failed to be claimed, so the chart has continued to display weakness rather than recover. And then here are two indicators here. Okay. All right. So highlighted the 0.8 MVRV pricing band, a metric traders use to gauge valuation, okay, and help identify potential accumulation zone. All right. So widely watched band is currently sitting at 1850. That's 10% below the zone. Okay. So when Ethereum moves below the 0.8 MVRV band, the decline has not typically been sustained for long. So this is actually not good. Okay. So now it is already below. Okay. And then what else? Analysts also said that key price zone often functions as a high probability macro accumulation window, one that can help form from underlying base for the next bull run. Okay. So yeah, I already made it clear that a full bearish thesis would need to be validated before the bullish case can re-emerge. Right? So yeah, I think overall we can see the setup here. Okay. Trend is actually absolutely bearish. Okay, so for the downside scenario could be to be effective, they negated that Ethereum to flip back toward a bullish direction. So two specific triggers must occur in short term for the crypto. First, Ethereum reclaiming the 200-week SMA. Okay, so 200 SMA sitting around $2,500, which is around I think this is the orange level, orange line, which is the 200-week SMA. Okay. And then second trigger could now, only after that, when a clean break above the 50-week SMA, which Martinez space around 3,100. Okay, so yeah, I think this is a level here. Okay, this is a level here that most likely to be playing out. Okay, so these are the two triggers that it needs to focus for. Okay, and then Hyperliquid. So Hyperliquid now for whales. Okay, all right. So all-time high for Hyperliquid, it is already what, $64, $65. I think it is already overvalued. I think even some are mentioning that Hyperliquid can go all the way to what, $200, because I think they will go public as well, IPO. I think could be anywhere somewhere in Q3, Q4, probably after SpaceX, right? SpaceX launch, and then probably Hype will be going public as well. But all these are really pricing in to the max. Okay, now we can see that Hyperliquid has been generating a lot of fees as well. Okay, for users who are trading inside, and especially they are offering all those products for IPO as well, stock market. So that's where you can be able to trade in and out for this type of products, right? That you cannot able to access, right? By going through the traditional finance, right? You need to verify your KYC, you need to do bank wire transfer. But Hyperliquid cuts all that, and you can be able to open an account through your Web3 wallet, MetaMask, okay? And then just sign in and plug in the wallet and you can be able to buy and be able to trade. But this is the thing. But right now, we can see is that the whales are already know what they're doing. They are already start to sell. Okay, so yeah, Hyperliquid market structure has increasingly strengthened as sustained trading activity and liquidity expansion reinforced broader bullish momentum recently. Okay, so Hyperliquid went up about 123% since the sub of $30 levels, with a fresh peak near 64 during late May. Okay, the expansion also pushed valuation near the border, 64.2 billion all-time high, while derivatives participant participation accelerated aggressively across the market. Okay. Okay, so if we look at the open interest as well, so open interest also went up about 2.5 B. So we can see the more the open interest goes higher, the more likely risk taker. Okay, all right, people are going in even more. Okay, to actually leverage trade. Okay, so this is the thing. But if it's a low open interest, which means lack interest, most likely market is resetted. Okay, but now you can see it's climbing. So if it's climbing, it's not really good. It's waiting for a flush. So yeah, however, elevated leverage near all-time high still increases liquidation risk, with profit taking starts overwhelming fresh liquidity absorption. Yeah, so I think most likely it's much more visible bills actually take profits at all-time high, right? $5. I feel that it is already overpriced, even though it hit a new all-time high at the stage. Okay. And then probably hype will probably peak at the year, and then probably consolidate somewhere around $35 or 45 on the $50 range for this quarter or maybe second half of this year. Okay, due to its utility and use cases, which is quite strong. But if you look at the whales, right? Okay, whales profit taking test hike rally strength. Okay, so yeah, we can see already. I think those people who have held their Hyperliquid token from the day one or participating till now, which they also gotten the airdrop, and let's say if they have not sold, I think every hype back holder, they have right now about at least a minimum of 100,000 USD, six figures. Okay, with that kind of momentum, okay, from Hyperliquid, okay, had they not sell till now at this all-time high of $60, right? I think easily about six figures. Okay, so market participants also shifted attention to whether organic demand remained strong enough to absorb larger exits near all-time high. And then if you look at this whale wallet, selling another 170,000 high, roughly about 10.54 million near the $61. That's a lot. Okay, hell of a lot. Okay, so roughly about 321,000 high, right? Nearly 19.8 million. Okay, at 61.1 average price. So these are all the whales they are selling at that level, $61. So I think which is kind of good since they know what they're doing. And I think probably Hyperliquid for second half of this year, I'll be looking heavily into slowly accumulating if there's any chance. If Hyperliquid, let's say, drop below $40, okay, or somewhere around $30 range, I think that would be a good area to rebuy back. At least 50% discount on the all-time high at $60. Okay, so again, like I said, it is already overpriced. You don't want to be chasing at the top. Okay, there are a lot of opportunities coming in later on for this week. I mean, for this second half of this year, a lot of opportunities. So you don't lose much by just sitting cash on the stables right now. And then moving on, talking about the IPO, right? The OpenAI with SpaceX. So I think SpaceX will be launching on the 12th of June, which is roughly about 2 weeks from now. Okay, so I think this could be the final cherry on top of the cake before probably there's any sort of major correction. Okay, so yeah, everything is like preparing. SpaceX, they are going public, and one of the largest public company building Bitcoin. So Elon Musk, SpaceX, okay, so S-1 filing this 18712 BTC under digital assets. So they're going to go live, okay, all right. So yeah, I think Elon Musk is poised to become the most valuable public company building BTC, okay. And then, yeah, I think these are the things that you have to really take on all these IPOs. A lot of people are also anticipating to jump into the bandwagon of the IPO, which is also, I believe, already at the late stage, which is also quite concerning if you really want to do it. Right? So, yeah, already at the peak, the inferior stage, I think this could be the final one. So, we look at SpaceX S-1 filing. So, it is under the digital assets, shows unchanged holdings year over year. So, the company have held its BTC 18,712 Bitcoin, okay, which is about what 1.6 to 1.7 B. Okay. All right. So the company has ownership of and control over its digital assets, consist of Bitcoin, and utilizes expects to continue to utilize third-party custodian tools. Okay. So yeah, one of the largest, okay, in terms of Bitcoin holding. All right. So yeah, I think this is what it is. Okay. Now you can see there are a lot of hype about all these IPOs, especially this AI mania as well. I think it is going to explode. Right? It's going to pop soon, just like the .com crash. Okay, everything is like going up only, no sign of correction at all. And the S&P 500 has been rallying non-stop for what 8 weeks already. So about 2 months non-stop, no retracement at all. So that could be a concern there. Okay, And then we move on next. So talk about the 4-year cycle. Okay, so the 4-year cycle, again, this is by Benjamin Cowen. Yeah, again, a lot of people are mentioning that the 4-year cycle is over, it's dead. Okay, and here we are. The cycle have been moving on and off each and every time the narrative change. The more the narrative change, the more it stays the same. 4-year cycle still dominates until it is proven otherwise. Okay, so yeah, we look at Benjamin Cowen. Bitcoin top when it's always top to within 1 week when measure from low to high. So why it can't it bottom near the end of the midterm year? Just as it generally has, right? So look here. This is the Bitcoin market cycle bottom ROI. And then if you look at, this is the cycle 3, right? This is the orange line, cycle 3. And this is the green line, which is cycle 4. Then cycle 5 is this one. So believe we are at current market cycle, which is cycle 5. So we are currently around here. And we are still yet to continue, yet to finish up this race to to bottom. Okay. All right. And then what's next? Okay. So as measured from the quick, the ROI of Bitcoin, okay, while holding up better than prior cycles, still exhibits similar growth. From all the previous bottom, all the previous market, okay, it is repeating the same behavior again. Okay. All right. So you look at the cycle 5, right? 5, bottom 6. It's all the same. Market is following exactly. Okay. So yeah, what else? Okay, and then here, in prior bear markets, there were counter trend rallies that lasted more than 20 weeks before a new low was set. The current consolidation is only 16 weeks. So we are still yet to even hit 20 weeks, another 4 more weeks to hit, and then 1 more month. So we are currently at this level here, which is a complacency bounce, right? Then look at all those previous cycles here. 2018 went up, closed above, but did a fake move and went down again. Okay, so yeah, similar as this one as well, 2014, right? 2014 level. Close above the MA. It thinks that it is already change of direction, right? From bear to bull. But what happened? Came down again. So I think this could be also the same scenario. Now it already closed above, and all those perma bulls are mentioning that, oh, this is it. This is where the consolidation is. Once Bitcoin consolidate at the area, most likely this is the time where Bitcoin will continue its all-time high again. And yet, from time to time again, the bear market tends to prove them wrong. And what happened? The price literally did the opposite to what the normal will say. Okay, so yeah, a lot to learn. Okay, it may not repeat, but it does rhyme somehow. So Bitcoin has also historically gets rejected around its 200-day SMA in bear markets, which is currently what has happened, right? So this is rejected at the 200-day SMA. Again, rejected again. So you can already see what's happening. So my view could be wrong. And if they are, I definitely need my wounds for a while. Right? So yeah, again, not financial advice, but this is what he is projecting based on 4 years. Okay. Rather than speculating you the 5-year cycle ISM, banana zone, okay, we have already heard enough from Tom Lee. Ethereum is going to 62,000 in the coming months. Okay, Hyperliquid was 62 times from after his. Okay, we're already sick and tired of all that. So I'd rather listen to someone who is adapting to the current market cycle rather than shilling you hope and hope. Like all these people, like psychedelic. Okay, it is getting more nonsense day by day. And then next, talking about CryptoCon, right? The most hated guy. Yet again, proven everyone wrong. So cycle bottom target for the golden ratio, okay, it's currently around 36,000. So we are watching level 1, very accurate from previous cycle bottoms, right? So look here, golden ratio multiplier. Okay, so where are we now? Look at that, level 5, level 4, mid top at 2024. We tested at where? Cycle top level, cycle 4. Okay, and then now the projection is around 35.8K. Okay, all right, so yeah, multiple hits, this is the level. And then went down, and then came to level 4, similar as last 2 years. Came down again. So now it's backing down. Okay. So yeah, right. So this is slightly below the realized market cap, bottom of 2.5. I think the real answer is probably something. Okay. Right. So more leg, more. So we are still long way to go for the bear market. I believe there's still more room for downwards. So that's why I'm happily sitting on cash rather than going in and out. Fear of missing out, that you need to go to this trade, and you need to buy this new point, and you need to catch the trade. All these are just pure noise, short term, because this cycle, bear market, is a trader's market. It is not an investor's market. So the moment when you buy, you got to know when is your exit. You don't have time to even hold. Your time horizon of holding is not much, very limited, because the risk is higher than the reward. So it's a trader's market. You got to go in and then out quickly, in and out very quickly. It could be weeks, it could be less than 1 month, right? So this is the thing I really don't want. Okay, in and out of that. Okay, so that's not my play. And then more again for Max Pin. Okay, this guy is also good, right? Adapting to the current market cycle. Okay, being realistic. So what if the IPO done the bell ringing on top, right? You see the signs of the dot-com market crash. Okay, suggests we may be getting closer to a major crash. And then this environment feels really similar. Why? Why is it similar? Look at that, AI mania. Here and there, companies are popping out, providing their services, okay, creating some sort of software, some sort of AI integration, automation that can able to, reduce your workload. So many, look at conference, AI here, AI there. All those companies just pop up like as if like they just born yesterday. Okay, shilling you their products. Oh, subscribe to AI automation, AI agent, Mac, right? So semiconductor euphoria, NVIDIA, AMD. Now all these went all time high. And then equities making new highs. Nasdaq, Dow Jones, okay, the S&P 500. Macro and geopolitics deteriorating underneath, right? Your Iran war, all are slowly, cutting down. And then now you're going to add this is what? The SpaceX IPO, which could be valued somewhere around 1.2 to 2 trillion. And then OpenAI, okay, which will be launching around September this year, which is quite late, okay, compared to SpaceX. Then Anthropic, which is cloud AI, potentially joining near similar valuation as well. See, most of all these companies, they're going to go public. Okay, they are rushing. They are actually rushing, before this thing comes to an end. This is exactly the kind of big software access. Historically appears near major tops. Massive narratives, massive valuation, maximum optimism. Okay, so the key is what here? What you need to do, instead of joining or going into the bandwagon, go to ride all the way on the pit. Okay. Survival comes before profits. Number one here is to protect capital, but many have failed to do so. Many tend to buy at the top, FOMO at the top. They are thinking they can continue to go higher. And then what happened? The institutions or those insiders start to sell to the retail, which is you. And you yourself also don't even know what's happening. You keep holding and holding and holding, and then it goes down 50%, 70%, and 90%. And then you're even out hope, you calculated. You bury your head under the sand, that's it. You're finished, right? So cash may be the most asymmetric bet on this point. See? So true. But many do not want to do so. Many want to get their hands burned. Oh, I might need to do something. Right? I need to leverage trade. Buy low, sell high. If I don't do anything, I feel I'm not productive. That is the mindset of this kind of people. Okay, so the best position right now is not to do anything. Just stack your cash and sit still and to focus on other things. Maybe you can focus on upskilling yourself in AI. Okay, learn about AI. Okay, learn about prompting. Okay, how does ChatGPT works, Claude AI works, how to do automation. That is something more useful rather than go into the market FOMO, okay, leverage trade 100x, trying to gain something just to have some monthly income and then end up lose everything. That is the worst kind of thing that you want to do, especially if you're not a professional trader. Okay, so I've seen many come and go, and then they have many regrets, right? Oh, I wish I should have just hold the cash. and just spot and chill rather than leverage. So these are the things, and people tend to never learn. Time and time again, people will just make the same mistake. And then next, Swiss block. Okay, talk about risk index. Okay, so every time the risk index signals the selling pressure, it is structurally overwhelming the market. Okay, what sits underneath is institutional distribution. Look here. So Bitcoin price, T77. Look at the risk index at already 33, which is quite high, if you ask me. Okay, and then look at the spot ETF net flows, it's already negative, down 3.5. It's already below. So if you look here, high risk expense, ETF flows deteriorating. That means lack of interest for the ETF. Okay, so Bitcoin ETF are slightly positive in 2026 this year, but the margin is not accelerating. So that means where is the retail or whatever, okay, public that is going to really buy off this spot ETF? Okay, you can see people are scared, people are conservative. So after strong accumulation in March and April, may have flipped back into distribution. Then, again, so what changes the framework? The risk index is now moving into high risk territory, while ETF flows are deteriorating simultaneously, which is not good. That tells us a spot ETF demand is no longer absorbing selling pressure. You see, where is the demand for ETF? No, you don't have. So without strong ETF support, the risk index can continue accelerating higher, which is not good. So the higher the risk index goes, the price of BTC will go down. And that's where you see another movement towards the downside for the Bitcoin price, because also, again, the demand is pretty much low for the spot BTC. People are scared, people are conservative. People just want to sit on the sidelines. They go for safer yield like bonds. Okay? Because they cannot afford the kind of risk appetite to enter. Okay? So there you go. The risk goes up, Bitcoin price goes down, spot ETF goes down, interest rate goes down. So it is what it is, and this is the thing that you really look at. Okay? So we already know that the conviction is low, the sentiment is bullish. Then talk about airdrop. Not much. Again, I think the airdrop space is getting worse and worse because the company founder, they are, I think, probably West again, 100%. But this is a social value drop in final week. So airdrop 2 is expected by end of this month. Okay, so this is the final week to qualify. So we are targeting it, make sure to complete at least 20K perpetual volume. So this is another DEX here that you can do trading. Okay, so 30 million social tokens are allocated for or experience holders, points holders, right? So if you trade on SolDEX and hit 20K requirement, you are potentially eligible for both. So I think perpetual DEX is the only airdrop that is much more promising compared to those layer 2s, compared to those people who claim that doing AI, DeFi. You know, it is getting more obsolete. People are getting fed up. Okay. And then next, talk about SOTIS. SOTIS drop claims live, but the airdrop has vesting, you see. So the vesting depends on the rank. So top owners gets about 5 to 20% unlock each year, while most users get 25% lock on B1. So our current price for allocation is worth 1,004. But I know where this could be by the time full unlock. Yeah, which I also know what's going to happen. Every time when they do vesting, we know that the value drop about 80% easily. Why on earth would they want to do vesting? Right? Because they want to control the lack of conviction to even launch. If you have high conviction with your project or with your token, you can give an example like Hyperliquid. They do not do any vesting at all because they know what they're doing. They have high conviction with their product and services to the community. That is how to launch. So if you have companies like these investing, and especially 100% bid for 6 months at billions, sorry to say, this is not the type to go for. And your cost of opportunity really costs you a lot. So that's my take here. And then moving on next with the coin market cap, you can see coin market cap now is what? 2.51 trillion. BTC is at 74.7. ETH hovering around 2K, slightly there. And then we have what? XRP 1.3, we have Solar at 83. Okay. Gainers for today, we have what? Terra Luna Classic 10%. Humanity Protocol 7.4, ICT 5. Okay, not much now since all of it down. And then we're going to look into the technical side. So technical side, you can able to see here for dominance already at what 60%, right? Already at 60%. So yeah, we can see already on Monday time frame. Price have already closed above the time. Okay, so where's the next one? Next one probably be here to 8.29. Okay, and then the next level will be the top here at 64.61. Then we look at weekly. So the weekly time frame we can see momentum, pullback, high highs, and lows. And then probably we're going to see somewhere going up. So this will give you about 59.95. And then we look at the daily time frame. You can see already starting to go down more dominant, short term. We look at ETH against Bitcoin. I think nothing much as well because the price is only down. ETH against Bitcoin. Then looking here for this setup 002529. So it's a level here to watch for the next pit stop spot. And then on the daily time frame, we can see price rejected below the middle band break. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to see here critical support also broke. So 02856. Then we look at daily time frame. So daily time frame also we can see momentum, consolidation, and then the middle band will be here. 02790. Okay, and then on H4 also we can see. Now I'm consolidating sideways and then squeeze. Okay, so yeah, it's a setup thing. Probably this is the level, probably there could be a bottom short term. So we test back on probably on the pre-sell, which is about 22845. So we go on to the USDT dominance. So USDT dominance we can see here. Okay, so the setup is looking set to range higher again. It's a very nice setup. Actually, the bottom from here. Over here, 619. So there's a momentum pullback, and I think the next level we're going to watch is this here. So this will be 8.08. Contribution up again here, 8.77. Now look at weekly. Again, let's take change in direction from buy to sell, pullback to sell. So let's see whether can we continue. Yes, we're going to look into this level 8.4. So daily now, you see on daily. Okay. Higher highs, high lows, high highs again. Looks like it's already bottom from here. So only thing right now I'm going to see is here, 7.72. Okay, H4, momentum, pullback, high highs again. The next level is here, right? 7.67. Okay, for USDT dollars. Look at BTC now. So BTC is actually down. Coming down. Okay, so the monthly re-entry sell is here, rejected. You see already rejected. And let's take change of direction, pull back from the re-entry down again. So should we see this level next? So the 1.4. And then continuation and the lower repeat at 61Q. So these are the levels that we want to be taking closely into account. And we look here, bearish engulfing, rejected at this middle band. And then another week again, now it's looking set to retest this low. So next one will be here. So 2.9 with the next level there. Okay, 72.9. Then we're going to see also this critical support, which is 65K. Then on daily, momentum sell to back, actually sell breaking down again. So overall, the trend channel is actually downtrend, right? Momentum pullback, entry sell, breaking down again. So all these things is hitting lower. Look at ETH is also quite bearish. If we look at the money time frame. So what is the money time frame? Okay, rejected at the reaction cell. And then this is the support, 1800. Now that will be the critical support. And then let's look at this level here, 1182. Okay, could be the next one. Look at weekly. Now, weekly time frame also we can see set up here, momentum, pullback, rejected at the middle band, breakdown again. So this could be the next support. Okay, next here, 1927, 1927, then 1.8. Okay, now on daily also we can see momentum, sell, pullback, entry, 20 rounds of candle here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four daily candle rejected and the entry sells with. It's looking sell set to break the low. I think this support also set to break down. So 1.9 will be next. Look at H4 also, you can see it's already starting. Okay, so that's a thing here for ETH, right? Okay. And then what else? I think we got a lot of alts to cover as well. So I'm going to look into WLD. So WorldCoin, I think rallied also all the way to 40 cents to 1 cent. But if you look at the all-time price at like $12, okay, and yeah, $1.08 will be the next resistance. Okay, and look at the weekly time frame. Also, you can see setup. Okay, begin broke the middle band here. And then the support zone is here, 22 cents. So 22 cents and 26 cents. Okay, this break above maintain. Look at daily. So the daily time frame, you can see all the way uptrend. Reversal candle is formed. Look at H4. Okay, extreme sell, back for a higher low. So you're going to see whether can you able to maintain or else you increase sell the next 7 cents and then move up to the middle band test for the H4, 23 cents. Okay, next, we're going to look into let's get to virtual protocol. Virtual. So virtual, yeah, we can see here, it is already down. Here, the entry sell. Then your resistance will be here. And then your support is here at 64 cents. Look at the weekly time frame also, see. Down consolidating sideways price is still hovering at this middle band. Then we look at the daily time frame, you also see creating a lower high than the previous high. Rejected again, you can see on the pre-sell. So probably there could be another chance of the breakdown. Okay, probably to test right here again, 4 cents. Look at H4 itself, so extreme sell, BW, lower high, rejected in the sell zone, so it's going to break down. Or we should. Then, last one. Okay, so I think all those points are actually good. So we can look at Ombo as well. So I think Ombo, the founder, have recently passed away. Okay, and we're going to look into Ombo. 9 cents as well. All-time low is at 20 cents. Now it's about 20 cents. So it's about 1x. Okay, from the low. But a lot to cover here, right? Ombo. Over here, resistance 76 cents. Critical support will be around here, 6. Look at weekly time frame, see momentum, reversal, retest candle is formed, extreme sell is forming. So probably there could be another boost that's middle band most likely will, I think it's support now, 29 cents. Look at daily now, you can see look like a double top on M pattern is forming. It's looking set to close inside the Bollinger Band. And the next level we're going to see is this will be here at 24 cents. Look at H4 also, you can see momentum sell. So no doubt, I think probably we're going to see this level here at 27 cents for Christmas. All right, so I think that's all I have. Right.